My name is Will Gadd. I live in Canmore, Alberta in the Canadian Rockies, and I'm a climber, paraglider, kayaker, mountain biker, skier, guide, TV guy, whatever works. Helmkin Falls is a 150-meter climb in the Canadian Rockies, and it overhangs about 100 meters in that 150 vertical meters. And yeah, it's the hardest climb I've ever done. Really steep, really cold, -30. A lot of mist in the air, which freezes on your equipment, makes that very difficult. And very happy to have gotten it done with a good team of people. The conditions are horrible, -30, and there's ice in the air, and then the ice freezes onto your clothes and your face and your jacket, and makes the ropes covered in ice. You know, the ropes are this big, covered in ice. So a very, very tough environment, and we all had to learn how to operate in this environment safely. It was really difficult. I broke my finger, so I was climbing on a broken finger for 2 weeks. And you could feel the bones move, so that wasn't very good. Climbing on a broken finger is not good for the finger, but when you have people who are really committed and excited and motivated, then you also want to rise up and do your best. And we were all trying so hard. We all froze our feet. You know, it's just really a hard place to climb. Climbing Helmkin Falls was for sure the hardest thing I've ever done. The most difficult part of Niagara Falls was getting the permits, but if I had not climbed Helmkin Falls, then I would not understand how to climb spray ice. And Niagara Falls is spray ice. So you have to climb the mist from the waterfall that freezes to the wall. So I'm actually climbing on overhanging ice on Niagara Falls with the waterfall right behind my head. And that was really nice. No, Niagara Falls is a difficult climb. The protection is bad because the ice is it's spray, and it's a serious place to climb. If you fall off the start of a normal climb, maybe you land in the snow, but you're not gonna die. If you fall off the first 10 meters of Niagara Falls, you fall into a huge river, and the whole weight of Niagara Falls is beating down, so you're gonna die there. And then the river is frozen over. It's 1 kilometer wide, and it's frozen over. And then you go onto the ice and you die again. So it's, you know, Niagara Falls is not a great place to ice climb. It was an interesting challenge, but it's very difficult to organize. To get the permits, we had to go through 8 months of work. I spent a lot of time on airplanes, flying out, meet with this government person, and I would show them pictures and video of climbing at Helmkin Falls and say, yes, if we can climb at this level, we can make this work safely at Niagara Falls. Here's all the things we do to make it safe. And it took time, but we convinced them that it was not a stunt. Everybody wants to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. And they thought that ice climbing would be the same thing. But because of Niagara Falls, I was able to show hundreds of millions of people all over the world ice climbing in a positive way. And that was a really cool experience. Yeah, I didn't want to place bolts on Niagara Falls. I wanted to use traditional gear. So I had to get some very interesting prototype equipment made that would work in the soft spray ice. And I'm going to use this equipment at Helmkin Falls this year. It's a new way to look at things, I think. No, you can't climb Niagara Falls normally, and it's not a good place. It's too hazardous. You know, if I hadn't spent many years ice climbing and many years climbing at Helmkin Falls, I would never have been able to climb Niagara Falls. Yeah, it's been a crazy year or so. I was also climbing on the top of Kilimanjaro. And it should be noted also that Sarah Hoonican climbed Niagara Falls with me, and Sarah was with me in Africa as well. We were climbing these crazy ice formations in Africa, and those ice formations are not there. The ones we climbed, they're gone. I just like doing my sports, you know, and I feel the same way at 48 that I did at 25. I want to go out every day and do something really fun and push myself and learn new things and go cool places and share those stories with the people who are interested in them. So nothing's changed. What I do is find really interesting problems and then try to solve them. That's what I like doing. And I don't do these things because they're dangerous. I don't like the danger. I do them because they're very complicated, very interesting environments. And I haven't found anything that's more interesting. You know, when you're a little kid and it's Saturday morning and you have the whole world in front of you, that's the feeling I look for in my days. I want to wake up and be like, I'm going to go do the coolest thing I can think of ever today. And that's a nice feeling. I quit base jumping because it's not for me just about the rush of doing something. I want to solve interesting problems and come up with cool solutions. And with base jumping, it was too short for me. I don't I can't slow the situation down to solve problems. In base jumping, if you have serious problems, you get killed. And we're all gonna die, but I would like to be around a little bit longer yet. I think if I ever quit doing my sports, it won't be because I lose the love for the sports. These sports are incredible, they're beautiful, they're magical. The downside of these sports is that they are real. People die, and I've lost a lot of friends. And that's hard. It's great to be with people who love life and love being out in the mountains, and they have a big joy for life. These are the people you want to be around. They're psyched. They get up, you see the spark in their eye, and yeah, these are great people. But they burn hard. And these sports are dangerous, and that combination makes it difficult. I never did any of these sports with the idea that I would, do them with a very high risk level. Sometimes that is unavoidable, but I do my best to make them reasonably safe, and so having kids for me is not a lot different. I don't do a lot different because I have children, but it is another thing in the column of, yeah, let's be careful. I spend a lot of time figuring things out. I work very, very hard at understanding environments and what's going on, and take small steps in and then step back. So having kids for me is just part of that. And it's dangerous, and it's not something that everybody should do. Not everybody needs the experiences I need. I'm really unhappy unless I have a big project to solve in some way. And so for my kids, I want to show them to live life in a way that is meaningful to them, where they go, yeah, I want to try to be the best that I can be at what I want to do. And if I don't go out in the mountains, my daughter says, Dad, go do something because you're getting really annoying. So they know that I need this, but not everybody does. Yeah, always there's a new project. I usually have about 20 projects, and maybe one happens every year. But I try for 20, and if one or two or three is an incredible year. I try to do a lot of projects, but I fail all the time. People see the films and articles and things, and what they don't realize is that I fail at least half the time. I pitch 10 projects. I say, okay, let's try to do these 10 projects. One of them I can get funding to do, or I can make it work, or I can understand it to do it. So 90% of the time, what I set out to do is not what I do. I fail 90% of the time. It's different. I spent many years sport climbing. I won the Canadian Sport Climbing Championships 4 times and competed in the Sport Climbing World Cup 20 years ago. So I have a deep respect for sport climbing. I think it is the most committed and hardest form of climbing. Sport climbing is, a lot of alpinists are like, oh, sport climbing, it's not so good. This is bullshit. Like, sport climbing is really good and really hard. So no, I'm not trying to say sport climbing is bad. I have a deep commitment to it and deep respect for it. What I do say, though, is it's pleasant for me. I like social media, it's fun. I follow many people, but I again think people need to be a little bit more honest about what they are doing, or some people do. Some people are very honest, and it's very clear. But anything is good, but just be honest. Just be clear about what you did and how you did it, and have a lot of fun, and try really fucking hard, and it's good. But don't bullshit.